Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Early Edge. My name is Sia Nejad, otherwise known as the Counselor of Cash, and this show is brought to you by BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas. Make it legendary. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a great show for you today, but it's back-to-back recap screens where it's just not great. I missed my first half under. Bad read. I didn't know Jalen Carter was going to be out of that game, but either way, it was a bad read. Philly's money line loses in extras. Mike McClure hits his first half team total bet. Larry Hartstein, the A.J. Brown bet came in very easily there, and Theo Johnson almost got there, but did not get there. It's a 3-6 recap screen, and obviously 2 bad days in a row is not where we want to be, but it's been overall a good couple of weeks, but we gotta do better. And ladies and gentlemen, we rebound on BPE Friday. Let's go. We've got buckets. We've got Brasco. We've got Chip. We've got Mackenzie. And we need reaction to this Philly game. But before we get there, ladies and gentlemen, it's your Chip Me Up.
Good morning, Sia. Good morning, Buckets. Good morning, kids. Good morning, Danny. Good morning, Ben. Good morning, Early Edge fam. Oh, my heart breaks for you, Philadelphia. Oh, my goodness. The pain must be so much. And I know that you have suffered with those Super Bowls that you've been winning. Oh, cry me a river of that World Series contention. Cry me a river. Hey, but Early Edge fam, we are locked and loaded. Great college football weekend. Fired up to be here with the group.
Let Chip offer the perspective that all Philadelphia fans need. You guys win all the time, so just relax for a year. Maybe it's not going to be winning Super Bowls and World Series all the time. Mackenzie Brooks, I know you are a Philly fan, so therefore you have zero perspective. Talk to me about last night's game. This team looks like they're in shambles on and off the field. Am I wrong?
Yeah, this was the first game I was willing to believe that. I've been very, very glass half full this season. Like when people were like, do we need to blow up this team when they were 4-0? I'm like, how cool is it to be undefeated and your star players aren't even playing at their full potential? Like what a great spot to be in. So then the Broncos loss was like, all right. The Giants loss made it look a lot more messy. To hit the double whammy, triple whammy, Flyers lose, Philly's elimination game, and losing to a division rival all in the span of an hour was, it was a humbling situation. But I've always said on this show, on this network, that I am happy to have the fandom that I do, to have seen 2 national championships and 2 Super Bowls in my career so far. I will never be a very whiny sports fan.
Jason Rod says, just use a smaller glass, then it's 3/4 full or even overflowing. That's a good line. Brasco, your reaction. We got to get to picks, and I have a question to ask Buckets because I know he was watching the first half of that game at the very least, and I do want to get his reaction to the tush push thing because I don't know how much he's seen that before. Before we get there, though, Brasco, talk to me about your reaction to that loss and whether or not the NFC East is now up for grabs because the Eagles are still favorites at -115. Then you get Washington in that +140, +150 range, Dallas down to +750, and then it's the Giants at 50-1. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's so hard not to overreact in the NFL, as my friend Dave Sharapan, former odds maker at Caesars Sportsbook, who worked in the war room, said, nobody knows anything. And it just goes to show all the money pours in on Eagles -7. They move it to 7.5. And the Giants smoke them. So you're talking about glass half full, Sia, for the Eagles. My cup runneth over in terms of hope for the Giants' future. I don't think they'll make a bid in terms of competing for the division, but certainly a lot to see here with the exciting Whites, Scattaboo, and Dart. You saw my pregame was just bashing my head into things. That's in honor of Scatty Boo. But I think your Commanders are now live. I mean, the Eagles are looking like not themselves. Losing Kellen Moore is clearly impacting them. The offense is a little bit clunky. Landon Dickerson is now out. If Saquon Barkley is getting stuffed at the line of scrimmage by the 32nd ranked Giants rush defense, there are serious problems there. So off the field too, you mentioned A.J. Brown won't stop yapping. It's problematic in Philly right now. I'm not willing to say that the Kings have fallen, but I think the door is open for your Commanders for sure.
Joe Neuenfeld says, try being from Minnesota. Yeah, every city's got their story, and Minnesota is looking for more stories to write, that's for sure. By the way, great shout out to Dave Sharapan. I've had the pleasure of working with him before as well, and obviously passing away just in the last few weeks. An absolute icon in this space and a really good guy, a great guy to listen to as well. I think he's an author as well. I mean, there's a lot of ways to go check out Dave Sharapan's work even now. So good shout out, Danny Brasco. Buckets, I do want to transition because you were able to see something that you hadn't seen before. And we'll get to picks in a second, but the tush push. The Eagles, and I tweeted about this. I said this thing's going to be banned in May at the owners' meeting in May 2026 because I thought the optics on a spotlight game, I just thought it was a really bad look. You saw 4 tush pushes in a row. You'd probably never heard that term before. Your reaction to seeing that?
Before I give my reaction, Dean Goodwell in the chat says the old 1-2 scatter boo, and I don't know what that means, but I love it. I just wanted to point that out there. As far as the tush push is concerned, because I had no idea what it was, I Googled it after, and I see people complaining about it's offsides, it's legal. I don't care about the legality of it. I care about the fact that it is the most boring thing I've ever seen. People complaining about soccer, and you've got primetime NFL with 3 minutes of straight relining. It's just boring. Like I don't care if it works. As someone who doesn't appreciate football, I don't appreciate that, Sia.
So that's the whole thing. Whether you like the play or think it's fair or unfair, it's going to be banned or modified in such a huge way because there's no way that the owners want to watch that. There's no way that the fans want to watch that. 4 plays in a row. If I'm the Eagles, I do it maybe twice in a row, and then I try something else just so that the optics aren't as bad as they were. So that's my take.
Hold on. Are we playing sports or are we doing a television show?
I was going to say, is this like a
what about competition?
I'm just saying.
This was never about how the audience felt about it. Why wouldn't they have just banned it last season?
Because there wasn't enough momentum. They only had 10 votes, but they need 75%. And it was the first time it was up for vote as far as I can recall. And then the Eagles threw it in their face with the YouTube video, like right afterward or whatever. And then the 4 on a primetime game. It's just, I'm telling you, I'm just telling you what's going to happen. And it's going to be modified or banned in 2020.
I'm telling you that Teddy Roosevelt fought for this. And he saved the game from being banned because he wanted to see competition out there. This is not an entertainment product. This is a sport.
That is just playing rough in the trenches, and that's what you like to see. It's the most fascinating thing in sports.
I have 2 quick questions to someone that doesn't still really know what it is. Is it something that every team is capable of doing?
Yes.
They try, and they just don't do it as well.
They're not as good.
The
Bills are the best at it.
Buckets, basically, Buckets, everyone's just butthurt that their team can't execute it, and then they get really, really mad at the Eagles for doing something. Like, they line up, and everyone in the stands just knows they're about to convert. And it's so insane. There's nothing like it.
That might be true, but it's also really bad to watch.
Chip,
and when it comes to the NFL product, that's what matters the most. Let's get to some picks. Buckets. We've got 2 soccer picks. Then Chip has 3 college football picks. Mackenzie, you have a college football pick. Brasco, you're going to the UFC. I'm doing a little NFL play and a golf play for tonight, the Bay Current Classic. And then we've got a ton of SportsLine picks. We got to get started. Buckets, 2 picks for the pitch.
I feel like I need to just say one more thing. Don't look to me for advice on whether this should be banned or not. I didn't know it existed until last night, so I'm not going to be a big outspoken person about this. I will be outspoken. Ooh, nice little segue there on the World Cup qualifier. Yeah, it was. No. Shut up. On the World Cup qualifiers we have this afternoon because we have Belgium, the golden generation, taking on North Macedonia. And the books think that it is going to be one-way traffic from start to finish. And I disagree with that. I'm on both teams to score here at plus, that's right, plus 150, some Danny Brasco type of odds. Last night, it was plus 200. So this line is moving because people understand that North Macedonia play like a team that just doesn't give a damn about anything. This is a team that is underdogs every single game, and they are currently top of their group ahead of Belgium. In their 5 matches they've played, they've scored 11 goals, and they've conceded twice. And while Belgium is the better team, they're minus 700 favorites, they should win this one, no problem. North Macedonia is good enough to score against anyone, and both teams should not be playable at plus 150 here. It should maybe be even money, but this is too good a value to ignore. For my second bet, we are going to the matchup between Germany and Luxembourg. And Germany, one of the best nations in all of world football, one of the prides of Europe here, are doing terrible. They are currently... Oh, Freya's mad about this one. They are currently 3rd on the table. I'm upset too, Freya. I understand where you're coming from right now. But they've been scrutinized constantly, both on and off the pitch. 1 second. Hey, buddy. I love you.
This is amazing.
I love this.
They have been one of the best. They have been scrutinized on and off the pitch. Frankly, Luxembourg is their punching bag team. This is the chance to turn it all around and shut everyone up a little bit here. So I'm expecting them to win this one easily, probably like a 3-1, 4-1, maybe even 5-1 kind of situation. And if you're going to get 3, 4, 5 goals, Nick Waltemade is the guy you want to look at. Waltemade, anytime goal score at -120 against Luxembourg is just too good to ignore.
Buckets. Jason Pogwist has a very relevant question that I should probably get out fast. Is the kitchen on fire again?
Yeah,
Because
there's
Freya
a
might
lot
be
of
talking.
chicken in the chat.
The kitchen is fine. Even if it was on fire, we wouldn't know because I took down the smoke detector. Little life hack for you there, so you don't have to hear the beeping.
So far,
Life hack.
we've got 2 life hacks from Buckets.
That one might be illegal. Maybe don't do that
to
one.
prevent
You guys
fires,
are
take
getting
your fire alarm
fraud
down.
and
That's called
fire
an end
code.
of life hack.
Drink
Yeah.
out of the hotel ice bucket. Those are the 2 life hacks so far from
That
Buckets.
happened?
Yeah.
Oh man, you
Oh,
missed it.
Kens, no.
Oh,
Kens,
it's a
I feel like
classic
we're
hack.
good friends, and if you see that, we're not going to be friends anymore. Watch it.
I'd rather just not unpack that. Let's keep
Yeah.
going.
Yeah, we can tag you in the tweet. It was pretty epic. Chip Patterson, let's transition to football. We've got at least one game where you have a pick for Friday night, and then I think 2 from Saturday. So talk to me.
Yeah, and a lot of questions in the chat we can get to. I'm seeing I got a lot of thoughts on the week, and honestly, I'm just bringing you some fun. Okay, this is just going to be some fun. First of all, Friday night fun. We are looking at that North Texas USF game. I think it's going to be an absolute banger. The kind of game where it's just going to be who's got the ball last, who hits an explosive play, what safety decides to trip over his own 2 feet at the exact worst time. So I lean North Texas, but it's not a best bet. The best bet here is going to attack the team total, specifically the Bulls. We're going USF team total over 33.5 because while I do lean North Texas, it's more of a home field vibe side. If there's one group that I don't trust the most, it might be North Texas's defense. And so if it's a scenario where it's a back and forth shootout, well, USF team total cashes. If USF ends up winning this game in Denton, well, then that also cashes. We just need the Bulls to get to 34. Then call your family and tell them Tennessee first quarters are back. That's right. Extra, extra. Read all about it. We are back at the ATM. That is the Tennessee first quarters because when we see this Tennessee offense have a game-breaking wide receiver like they do right now in Chris Brazel II, well, that is just spamming him on the first 15 plays. It is stressing the defense. It is trying to build the kind of lead that changes the game for Josh Heupel. So we are back, and we're going up against an Arkansas team. A lot of attention now that Bobby Petrino is the interim coach. What I'm more concerned with is the defensive staff because he fired 3 coaches, and I don't even think they had a good defense to begin with. Now we've got a skeleton crew. I think Tennessee is going to carve them up. Tennessee first quarter. And then, again, if you want to have some fun, this is a start fast, start strong, finish strong. It ain't how you start, it's how you finish. We're doing Tennessee in the first quarter, and then we're going with Indiana in the fourth quarter because the best damn fourth quarter team in America, they smoke it through the filter for Coach Sig. And so we got a lot of different ways to win out here in Eugene because if this is one of those cases, like, I don't know, when you saw Oregon play Penn State, where they jump out to a big lead and then slowly end up letting them back in the game, I saw Penn State score 21 fourth quarter points on these Ducks. So an Indiana team that constantly is relentless. And you remember when they played against Notre Dame last year, you remember how they were able to just sort of like get things going late. I think they're going to be able to do that again. So it's how you start, it's how you finish. Tennessee first quarter, Indiana fourth quarter. Let's go.
Wow. Love the fourth quarter plays, Chip Patterson. Go ahead, Mackenzie.
I have to say, I'm very much in on Tennessee first quarter as well against this Arkansas team. Their first quarter in all of their 5 games Arkansas has played, which includes Alabama, A&M, and Arkansas, they have allowed their opponent to score. Arkansas State, that is. So, like, they're just letting they're letting the points fly in the first quarter. I'm fading Arkansas.
All right. You did mention, go ahead, Buckets.
Oh, no, I'm subject changing. So if you've got a
No,
Yeah.
go. You can subject change.
My mom texted me, I'm going to go put the smoke detector back up. I'll be back in like 2 minutes.
It's a great call. I was actually just going to say that. As
And
much
you
as we
have
were
to.
joking around, like we actually have to have him put the smoke detector back up.
Correct.
I love that his
Especially
mom
'cause
texted.
Especially because there are active fires in his home frequently. So, like, it's a must.
We need his mom to come onto the show. That's for sure. We also need you to know about these BetMGM promos. Speaking of college football, BetMGM account holders will receive a college football odds boost. Just make a college football bet and activate the boost. Score extra winnings if you win. BetMGM players will also receive an MLB postseason odds boost. Just add an MLB postseason wager to your bet slip, and if you hit your bet, you'll receive extra winnings in unrestricted bonus dollars. We actually do have a baseball pick carryover from yesterday when Sniper was on. So let's talk about some of our SportsLine picks. A lot of carryovers here, a couple of new picks as well from Tuesday. We've got Boise State first half -8.5 from Tom Casale. That one's -110. From Wednesday's show, Mariners money line +118, says the Sniper. From Thursday's show, Prop Stars was on. Darren Waller under 39.5 receiving yards at -111. Reminder, me, Prop Stars, Uncle Dave, and Claudia Bellafato will be on the prop show today on CBS Sports Network at 1 o'clock. And then finally, RJ White's coming with a prop. Breece Hall over 28.5 receiving yards. I am seeing that right. Yeah, 28.5 receiving yards at -114. And then we've got a couple of producer picks. Ben, you're welcome to come on and talk about these if you want. We've got the Seattle Seahawks money line -104 and Maryland. We're going back to Maryland first half +3.5 at -105. Ben, explain yourself.
Yeah, I'll be quick, but I think we're going to go back to the well with Maryland, and they really disappointed their fans by blowing a 20-3 lead last week to Washington. But we got the cover, we got the +6.5. I'm going to go back to them for the first half. They are a really good first half team. They are 23rd in the nation in first half points per game. Second half, they're 115th in second half points per game. So this is very much a first half team. They're still at home. They play Nebraska coming in. I'm not very high in Nebraska. I'm honestly higher on Washington than I am in Nebraska. So I think this Maryland team and this offense can do their work in the first half, cover the spread, maybe even lead after such a disappointing loss last week. It's more of a bounce back game for them. They were up 13-0 against Washington last week. Week 4, they were up 20-0 against Wisconsin on the road. So this team does its work in the first half. So I'm going to be okay with them in the first half, not responsible for them in the second half. Seattle Seahawks and Sia, I think you'll agree with me on this about the Jacksonville Jaguars. I just don't believe in them too much. I don't believe in Trevor Lawrence to get the job done. After a big win for them, it's a bounce back game for Seattle. They go on the road. They play a Jacksonville team that's going to be high off a win against Kansas City. I think the Seahawks get it done. They're a very consistent, very balanced team. Sam Darnold is a good quarterback. He's capable of winning this game on the road. I like their offense to get the job done. So I'll take Seattle on the road and Maryland in the first half.
Hey,
I
Ben,
definitely think Seattle's the sharp play there. Chip, go ahead.
Yeah, Ben, I've got a pitch for you. Okay. So we'll call these Maryland first half plays curfews because the team is so young. They play 8 true freshmen. They can't be trusted late. We got to get you home early because that's what happened. You blow a 20-3 lead because you're young, you're inexperienced. You just don't know how to do it. And so we're just going to call the Maryland first half. They're called curfews because we cannot trust them to take it all the way to 60 minutes.
Mackenzie, any reaction to the Maryland play?
Yeah, I mean, I was on Maryland also to upset Washington last week, so that was a heartbreaker for sure. But it's true. I mean, you got young guys. You might as well get them out early. And my play is also going to be a first half play as well.
Ooh, nice little teaser because we're about to get there. Ben, what I will say about I like your Seattle play. I think it's the smart play. I'm waiting for Jacksonville to go on the road, maybe against a allegedly inferior team, and that's going to be the spot for me. But I completely agree with the sentiment that like the public is going to be on Jacksonville at home, of course, against Seattle. The sharp play is definitely on Seattle there. All right, we got to get to Mackenzie's pick. Danny Brasco, I see UFC questions in the chat. I believe Scott Sneed had a question. And then, of course, I have a golf kind of alt line teaser scenario. And then I've got a football one. And then I've got a golf play for tonight, the Bay Current Classic. We're going to cover all that right after this message from our partners.
May, touchdown, TJ Watt. Got him. What a play. Give me 2, give me 5, give me double time.
All right, we're back on The Early Edge, brought to you by BetMGM. Make it legendary. I love that has some How I Met Your Mother vibes there. Let's go. Let's stick with college football, and then, Danny, we're going to get to your 3-pack for UFC. Talk to me about Oregon, Mackenzie.
Yeah, going to the big 3:30 game, CBS game on the Network of Stars, as Chip Patterson would like to say here. I do like Oregon in this game versus Indiana. I've been an Indiana fader for about a year now. That's just who I am. And the thing about Oregon is they start fast, and sometimes that second half where they kind of let their foot off the gas. But even like literally the past 2 seasons under Dan Lanning, you see this team constantly come out fast. And for Indiana, they are just not the same team on the road, same offense as they are at home. You look back to their Iowa game, Notre Dame game, a few games even, Ohio State, like especially Iowa. Iowa should have won that game, right? So I think people see Indiana beat up on Illinois, and they are really looking at that game only. But I think when you look at that game, it was a depleted Illinois secondary, their defense overall. But I think we're going to see actual strong competition. We know what happens when Indiana plays strong competition, but I don't want to worry about that backdoor cover. So I'm going to take Oregon in the first half, minus the 4.5. I saw some chat questions about Notre Dame team total. Not my official play today, but 100% love Notre Dame team total to get back in their spot over 41.5. They had so many turnovers last week that should have been touchdowns. So I think they convert those into touchdowns against this NC State team. And we get over 41.5 points as well for people asking in the chat.
All right. Oregon first half minus 4.5. And we still have a lean to the Notre Dame team total. Danny Brasco, we've got UFC this weekend, and you've got 3 picks for us. What are they?
Yes, yeah, I got to heat up because I've talked about my UFC slump. It's been like a whole fiscal quarter now. The Boo Birds are coming out here and there. Luckily, I went on a nice little 17-3 NFL run. So NFL's been doing me justice. But I got to get back in the groove on UFC. No excuses. Just got to keep showing up to work and doing my job. Hopefully the tides turn. I like a lot of what Gippers is putting in the chat. And he right away addressed a fight that's going to be my first pick. He actually took the other side kind of, but I considered giving both of these out. I'm going with Lucas Almeida over 67.5 significant strikes as my first play. He's fighting Michael Aswell, and Gippers in the chat gave Michael Aswell over significant strikes. Sometimes if any of you guys make MMA draft DFS lineups, you can play 2 fighters against each other who you think will just trade punches in a war, kind of rack up the points. I consider doing that in my DFS lineup and playing both of these props. Now you look at a guy, Lucas Almeida. I think he's the more technical striker here. He's a clean Muay Thai style kickboxer, and he's at home in Brazil. He's the slight underdog right now. He's fighting a guy in Michael Aswell that's just a pressure striker. He wants to get in your face. He wants to land combinations, and he's going to keep coming at you and not relent. He's very tough. He forces a nasty fight. But a lot of the time it takes him till the second round or third round to really get home to the target. That first round, he's finding his range, and he's the one getting hit. He absorbs over 7 significant strikes per minute. He throws over 9 of them. So he's getting into these high volume affairs. And I'm looking at the UFC stats here. You look at a guy like Lucas Almeida. He went over this in 4 out of his 6 UFC fights. And even in fights where he got taken down multiple times, he still worked back to his feet and went over this. So sometimes that's the downside of a significant strike prop. You wonder, oh my God, are they going to grapple and stay stuck on the ground? Not really the case in this fight, I don't think. I don't think we'll see too many grappling exchanges. And both of these guys have the potential to go way over their significant strike numbers. So I like this fight, and I like Lucas Almeida over 67.5. Next fight, it's time for the dogs to bark. This is an unranked heavyweight matchup, so you got to give me the dog here. I'm going with Mario Pinto at plus 120. And really, it's because I find some red flags on his opponent, Jonata Diniz. Diniz is a smooth heavyweight for his size. He's got good footwork, moves around throwing those low kicks, but he hasn't seemed all that dangerous. He kind of fought a technical fight against a wrestler in Carl Williams that couldn't take him down, and then he couldn't finish him. Diniz, I'm losing a little bit of esteem on him, I should say. Like, I don't think he's that interesting of a commodity all of a sudden. In his last fight, he labored towards the end of the fight, and another kind of LFA opponent who was on steroids almost got to him. So that was sketchy to me. And then lastly, Pinto has all the grappling upside here. Jonata Diniz is a fish out of water off of his back. And Pinto, not necessarily known as a wrestler or grappler, but if he decides to employ it, I think he's got all the upside there. So you give me 3 red flags on a guy on Diniz, I'm going to take the underdog on the other side. And finally, it's time for the main event of the evening. Look, maybe the odds are a little sketchy here, but last week I totally overanalyzed and intellectualized my Magomed Ankalaev pick. Pereira just walked through him. So I'm not doing that again. I'm taking Oliveira at home in Brazil to get this one done against Mateus Gamrot. The question about Charles Oliveira here, guys, is what version of him are we going to get after that devastating knockout loss to Ilia Topuria? But he's fighting a guy in Mateus Gamrot that's taking this fight on fairly short notice and is a pressure wrestler. You're going to walk into the grappling, the full guard of the all-time leader. My doorbell is ringing. Of the all-time leader in submissions in the UFC. Oliveira's got the most dangerous full guard. He's got so many weapons that he can threaten Gamrot with. And Gamrot lost to a jiu-jitsu player and a striker in Beneil Dariush that was able to use leg locks and scrambles and grappling threats to get back to his feet and negate some of that pressure wrestling. I think Oliveira is the more dangerous striker. He's obviously the more dangerous submission artist. And if he can stand up to that pressure, he can get a win here. So what version of Oliveira will we get? I hope the best one, because at even money, I'm going to take him in UFC Rio for sure, Sia.
We always get the best version of Danny Brasco, who talks through the doorbell. Buckets, I do have to check in. Were you able to somehow reinstall your fire alarm?
I mean, it's not hard. I know the bar's not exactly high for me, but it's just, you just go boop, and then it's
it looked like you had completely pulled it off the wall, though. I thought you just like actually broke it.
Oh no, I did, but it's like it's on the ceiling now. At least I don't know if it's plugged in.
You like can't turn a fire, like if it goes off in the middle of the night and like starts waking up the neighbors. Like I did the last time, I just smashed it with a baseball bat.
So there, when you like unhook it from the ceiling, there's 3 wires. If you just cut through the wires, it stops beeping.
Wow,
so it's it's not.
Thanks.
Yeah,
I almost put a hole in my
tip.
wall.
More life
You're
hacks.
so good at adulting. It's crazy.
Good tip, Buckets. Appreciate that. Let's get to my picks. We got a lot of questions in the chat, some soccer, some college football.
Did you test it? That's what you should do. Always test it.
By starting a fire?
Yeah, no, not by starting a fire.
Why would you go there?
I'm picturing Buckets in like an action movie detonated bomb. Like, is it the green one? We'll go green. Oh my God.
All right.
What do you mean test it then? Sorry, I got to figure out what chip means.
You don't know how to test a smoke detector?
No.
You press the button and hold it and listen for the beep.
Just like smoke a cigar and blow it right at it in the kitchen, see if it goes off or not.
This conversation is digressing. Let's go back to bets. We've got the Baycorn Classic. It's over in Japan. We did an early wedge. Me and Taft actually did an early wedge episode. And one of my outrights is going to be one of my picks in a matchup here. This is a round 3 matchup. You can find this over at DK. If you have Alex Noren in a 3-ball that you want to ask me about, go ahead and feel free. But I'm going to take this head-to-head matchup. Alex Noren minus 115 over Siwoo Kim. As you know, if you watch the early wedge, Alex Noren is one of my 4 outrights. He's second place, 4 shots back of Max Grazerman, who's in first. Siwoo Kim a little bit behind Alex Noren there. But the bottom line is I really liked Alex Noren coming into this tournament. Siwoo Kim, I mean, he was on my radar, but nobody that I was really going to put any money on. And so I'm going to go ahead and bet against him because I didn't really love him coming into this tournament. More importantly, though, going through 2 rounds of strokes gain data, which I do believe is accurate, even though it hasn't really been working through the tournament. But now that the round is over, I think the strokes gain data is just fine. Alex Noren, I actually still think he's 4 shots back. I still think he's going to win this thing. He is really ball striking at the off the tee and the approach play. Yesterday in round 2, he actually lost with the putter, which is pretty unusual for Alex Noren because he can get red hot with the putter. On the other side of it, Siwoo Kim, his ball striking's been okay, but it's been in another world than what Alex Noren is doing. So I like Alex Noren here, minus 115 over Siwoo Kim, because I think the flat stick is going to get hot. And if the ball striking stays anywhere close to where it's been, again, I think he can finish first place in this tournament, but I certainly think he can beat Siwoo Kim in round 3. My next play, I might have mentioned this either on the network show or on the early edge on Monday, that I liked an alt line teaser. Again, these are alt lines. These are not true teasers. You might not want to, if you don't like teasers or anything like this, you don't have to take this bet. I like the Broncos and the Colts minus 2.5. We know the Broncos are playing the Jets in London. The Jets probably a bottom 5 team in the NFL. Broncos maybe a top 5 team in the NFL. I like how they're playing. I like how they've given up short leads early in the season, because I like that, because I don't think it's going to happen again. I think this is a very buttoned up franchise. Really like them to roll. I think they cover the entire spread, but I'm taking it down to 2.5, and I'm taking the Colts at home down to 2.5 as well against the Arizona Cardinals. We're not even sure if Jacoby Brissett or Kyler Murray starting at quarterback for Arizona. I really don't think it matters. I think Brissett might be even a slight upgrade right now, but if you think he's a downgrade, either way, Colts at home, they can hit you with the pass, they can hit you with the run. Arizona Cardinals offense, especially without their top 2 running backs, it's just not a dynamic offense at all, particularly with Kyler Murray. So give me the Colts minus 2.5, the Broncos minus 2.5. In an alt line teaser, it's minus 127. All right, that was a lot of talking. Let's get to you all, because we've got some questions in the chat. Buckets, I'm going to start with you. Jeff Stenberg says, I'm holding a Walsall team total over 1.5 plus 125 ticket. How much do you hate that move?
Jeff, Walsall are going up, up, up. It's their moment. Together we're glowing. Gonna be golden. There you go, buddy. Top of the table right now. A fantastic offense playing a team with a poor defense. I don't think it should be plus odds, and I love it. That was K-pop Demon Hunters, by the way. Sia, trying to indoctrinate you. Oh, that was a big word. A little bit in their music.
Nice.
That scared me. Holy shit.
I don't know what to say, so I'm just going to move on. Bo Connor, you have a comment about dinner during college football Saturday and Brewers Game 5, but we're going to get to that in a second. I want to get to some questions first, and then we're going to think of excuses for Bo to get out of this dinner situation. Adam Frey says, Chip, any thoughts on Fresno State -6.5 tonight? Colorado State is struggling.
Okay, so last week we were on San Diego State. I told you the issues going on at Colorado State that it did end up coming home, but sometimes you need to have the context, and it was way sweatier than what I was expecting. The idea that this team was just going to crumble, they showed real fight, and that's where it's a little bit dangerous because while Fresno is a very good defensive team, it's kind of one of those situations where, are you sure you want to lay 6.5 points with Fresno on the road on a Friday night? That would be for me a hold your nose, take the Rams or nothing at all. So I don't think that Fresno State, if you are betting on the downfall, that's mean spirited. I saw some fight from those boys. They ain't quit yet.
All right, Steve Folkerts, this would be for Chip or Mackenzie. If either of you have an opinion on Rutgers, who play tonight. Go ahead, Chip.
Yeah, they play Washington, and this is the key. Jed Fish revenge games. Last year, Washington State beat them, and all during the week, they were like 22.5-point favorites, and the game was on CBS, so Jed Fish was on the pregame show. They're like, Coach, what kind of motivation do you need? And he was like, well, I mean, they beat us last year. We don't need any more motivation than that. And what did they do? Like, it was a close game in the fourth quarter, ran it up, scored like 21 points in the fourth quarter to end up winning that game handily. Jed Fish revenge games. Last year on a Friday night, Washington goes out to Piscataway, New Jersey. They miss like 9 field goals and just have a terrible red zone execution. They are going to want to put it on a Rutgers defense that is cheeks. And so I think that Washington -10.5, Washington first half, Washington team total over, stack them up however you want, because I don't think Rutgers is going to have a fun night out in Seattle.
Tyler Graham says, see, how about Norn over Thigala and Echeverria at +120? I don't like it only because that number's not high enough. Thigala's been playing really well. He kind of struggled down the stretch. I was watching this thing at like 1:32 in the morning last night over in Japan. Thigala lost a little bit of steam, but he's overall playing pretty well, and so is Echeverria. So I think if I was going to play Norn there, it would have to be +140 or +150. I just look around, see if you can get a better number or just a different 3-ball altogether. All right, Chip, Bama or Mizzou?
Ken's, I'm going to say Bama.
Ken's?
I'm going to say Mizzou. I just think you look at Alabama's rush D on the road is like oddly really bad. Even against Georgia, they allowed 7.2 yards per carry. I think they allowed 7.2 yards per carry versus Vandy too. There's this guy named Amon Hardy, who I have as a Heisman long shot, a running back for Missouri. They're coming off a bye week. I think he's literally going to eat this Alabama defense for breakfast, and that might be able to keep this game close. So I think if you get 3.5, I take the +3.5.
What do you think about over?
I think it's going to be a game on the ground with Mizzou.
Okay.
I would go, if you can get a 3.5, I would absolutely take Mizzou.
I think
I like the analysis there.
And I like
Mizzou in the
Michigan
under.
money line too. I can't believe they're a dog on the road too against USC, who allowed like 500 yards of offense to Illinois.
Yeah. USC might be in trouble here. This is about to get pretty dicey for the Trojans.
It seems like Michigan's still getting dinged from their true freshman road start against Oklahoma's defense, led by one of the best defensive minds in the game.
Yeah.
Like, they've become a better team since then and a better offense.
Michigan 100% is a live dog. That's a fun game.
Yeah.
We like Michigan. What? How many points are they getting?
2.5.
2.5. I would just take them outright.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to Duck Dad. Buckets. Are we laddering Holland goals tomorrow?
I personally will be, but I'd have to do it in a bit of a creative way because usually for the ladder on goals, you take goal score, 2 goals, 3 goals. Him to score a goal is minus 300. I would advise not playing that personally, just my preference there. What I would do instead is bet like half a unit on him to get the first goal. That's plus 220. Then I'd bet a unit on him 2+ goals at plus 200 as well. And then 3 or more goals, maybe sprinkle at plus 700. But don't play the first rung of the ladder. That's just not worth it, in my opinion.
All right. Bo Connor wasn't asking us for help, but I feel like we need to deliver on some help. He says, thanks for the chip me up. Just found out I have dinner with my girlfriend's grandparents, not only on college football Saturday, but during the Cubs Brewers game 5. He says such a shame, like it's a foregone conclusion that he has to go to this. But I got to tell you, we're here to help Bo Connor. So hand up. Let's start actually, Chip. We're gonna go clockwise here. Chip, is there any excuse you can deliver to Bo to possibly maybe get out of his girlfriend's grandparents' dinner and maybe meet them for breakfast on the following morning before football starts? Something like that.
Buddy, YouTube TV's got DVR. You go to that dinner. It's their grandparents. How much longer? Come on, man. Like, you care about this girl? Huh? You care
That's
about
bad advice. This is bad advice. You have to set the tone. Chip,
at dinner.
girlfriend could be fiance, could be wife. You have to set the tone that these games matter on Saturday and on Sunday in the fall. You have to establish that precedent. Otherwise, you're going to buckle to dinners your entire life. Brasco, give me an excuse.
Buckle to dinners. You just hit me in the heart there because I'm a people pleaser. So, man, maybe that resonated with me. But I'm kind of siding with Chip. It's not just the parents. Maybe you have met the parents already. You have a good rapport with them. The grandparents, there's a kind of sense of respect and honor there. You really want to show. You don't want to be peeking at the screen. You want to do old school kind of grandparent things. So it's tough. I mean, also, I'm an NFL guy. CFB doesn't pull my heartstrings like that. But I understand.
You got to respect the game. The game of getting out of things while football is on. Specifically.
If something happens and it falls through, you can be like, oh, rats, like, but I think you need to remain as committed as possible to, it's a respect thing.
Okay. We're 0 for 2. Mackenzie, do you have anything for us?
I think the problem started when you started dating a girl who didn't get it,
Yeah.
Oh,
thank you.
There we go.
Thank you.
Clearly, she didn't see my October sports calendar for the girls video because it basically tells you, and I'm going to find it right now. It tells you everything you really need to know and how packed it ends up being. There are no free days. So she can find that on my Instagram to help her make her plans moving forward.
I think that's really important. Please. Okay. Bo, take a look at that. Buckets. Do we have an excuse to deliver to get out of dinner on Saturday night?
Sia, I'm somebody who missed the second half of the 2022 World Cup final between Argentina and France, one of the greatest World Cup finals in history. I missed that because my dog wanted to go on a walk. I am not the person to be asking this question. I have no idea.
There's a bunch of lover boys on here. I'll tell you.
I even watched that.
I know that's
incredible.
I don't know. Just do what I do. Give yourself food poisoning the day before. I mean, that's always not
thank you. Okay, now we're getting
go.
somewhere. Okay, food poisoning. That's one.
We're getting a lot of COVID in the chat.
COVID. Okay, that's fine.
It is grandparents.
Deadline at work.
That's true. You just hit it with a little scratchy throat. Sorry.
It's still Friday, so you can, if you're at work, if you do like a regular 9 to 5,
get
Bo,
COVID.
you can. Like, I mean, that is kind of a good excuse, but it's a little insensitive. I think.
Yeah.
Let's try going with. Boss gave you a deadline. You got to work through the weekend. You can't. Something like that.
I'm picturing him like running behind like a dumpster in the back of a restaurant, like rolling around in the toxic waste and becoming Spider-Man or something. So best of luck, but don't hurt yourself doing it.
Food poisoning might be the best play. Were there any UFC questions, Danny, that we needed to get to?
No questions, but I liked what Gippers was putting down. I wanted to shout one out. Joel Alvarez is fighting Vicente Luque. Alvarez is a minus 535 favorite. Luque, Brazilian legend, but plus 400 kind of at the back end of his career. Alvarez has 22 pro wins. All 22 inside the distance. Gippers gave out Alvarez knockout at plus 155. He's an excellent submission artist, but I'm with Gippers. I think he chins Luque with a nice straight punch down the middle. So you take a minus 535, get a plus 155 shot instead. I like that look.
Jason DePietro and Jake Scott say, drink from the hotel bucket, guarantee illness coming. See, the chat is coming up with stuff for you, Bo. Really appreciate that. Buckets, were there any soccer questions we missed?
There were a couple things I want to touch on. If you were looking for a game today that could have a lot of goals, I would look at the matchup between Sweden and Switzerland. Both teams' scores hovering around -125, over 2.5, around -110, almost even money. I think that game ends with 4 or 5 goals, to be honest. I would have made both teams to score an official play if I caught it earlier. So that's something I definitely wouldn't be afraid to put some money on.
All right. Mackenzie, did you see anything in the chat that needed to be verbalized?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I feel like we covered a lot of the good marquee matchup college football.
Chip, you've got the last word here.
This Saturday is absolutely loaded, and that is why you have something set up in the other room. So you just have to go to the bathroom. You get up from the dinner table, you go, you check the score, then you're coming back. Oh, I'm sorry, I've got an overactive bladder. You hit pause on your phone, and then you're able to,
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a bit of a compromise. I like that. And if you drink a ton of water at the dinner, then like that excuse like makes a ton of sense. Just
And
consume water. It's good for you. Go ahead.
Let
Brasco.
him know you have like IBS or something, constant bathroom
Okay, we
breaks.
didn't
You're
need
gonna miss a
to,
little.
I don't think we needed to do that.
You could also just break up with her, right? That's an
Okay,
option.
see, now we're looking at different options. We're
That's
being
dark.
creative here. But
That's not dark. It's just if you care more about football than this person, then
You're gonna be alone,
alone with football,
So
which is
real.
love. Which is love.
which is love. All right, let's get to.
we got to get to the.
It's probably time to get to the recaps here. I'm just trying to help Bo out. I think it's important. Okay, I've got an NFL alt line parlay, Broncos Colts on Sunday. That Broncos game, don't forget, starts. It's in London. Starts Sunday morning, I think at 9:30. Colts is that regular 1:00 game. By the way, I have 2 actual NFL player props on the SportsLine site. I'm 7 for my last 8 in NFL player props. So check those out. I'll also be talking about them on the NFL Prop Show today at 1:00 on CBS Sports Network. Bay Current, round 3, Alex Norn -115 over Siwoo Kim. Then we go to soccer. Belgium versus North Macedonia, both teams to score +150. And Germany versus Luxembourg, Nick Voltamade, anytime goal scorer, -120. Okay, we go to UFC. Lucas Almeida, over 67.5, significant strikes, -115. Mario Pinto, money line +120. And Charles Oliveira, money line, even money. Oregon, first half, -4.5, -110, says Mackenzie Brooks. And then we go to Chip Patterson, USF, team total over 33.5, -110. Tennessee, first quarter, -3.5, -112. In Indiana, fourth quarter, +1.5, -130. A lot of sports line picks. Boise State, first half, -8.5, -110, says Tom Casale. From Wednesday, we got Mariners money line +118 from the sniper. Darren Waller, under 39.5 receiving yards, -111. That's from Prop Stars. More from him on that 1:00 show on CBS Sports Network. And Breece Hall, over 28.5 receiving yards, -114. That one courtesy of RJ White. Then Ben, his producer, picks so many picks on this show. Maryland, first half, +3.5, -105. And the Seahawks money line on the road in Jacksonville, -104. Shout out to Jen in the chat. She says she's going with Eugenio Suarez home run in tonight's game. Geno Suarez buckets. You hit that just a couple of days ago, right?
Yeah.
All right, well, hit it again, because when Jen is on something, when Jen or Katie Taylor is on something, we always try to tail that. Jeff Stenberg says he misses Amags, and that's just so he can talk smack to him about the New York Yankees. Thank you, Chip. Thank you, Danny Brasco. Thank you, Mackenzie Brooks. Buckets, Ben on the 1s and 2s and 3s and 4s. And all of you in the chat, Buckets, would you like to close the show?
No, thanks.
Subscribe. You know the law. We rest our case. Think of something, Bo. Think of something. Seriously.
You know the law. Subscribe.